They say you lose your mind slowly. It's not an explosion, it's a leak. A drip, drip, drip of reality slipping away until you're drowning in your own confusion. For the last 6 months, I thought I was drowning. I thought I was losing my memories, my personality, my soul. My name is Veronica. I'm 38 years old, and I am, or I was, the heiress to the Vandermeer publishing empire. I grew up with money, yes, but I also grew up with a sharp mind. I ran the company. I negotiated mergers. I was sharp, formidable, and unbreakable. Until I married Stefan. Stefan was a charming, struggling artist I met at a gallery opening in New York. He was everything I wasn't: spontaneous, emotional, free. We moved into my family's ancestral estate in Connecticut, a sprawling Gothic mansion isolated by acres of forest. It was supposed to be our sanctuary. It became my prison. It started with small things, misplaced items. I would leave my car keys on the hook by the door. The next morning, they would be in the freezer. I would write a check for the gardener. A week later, he would call, angry, saying the check bounced because I hadn't signed it, but I remembered signing it. I could see the ink drying in my memory. Then it became auditory. I would be in the bath and hear Stefan talking to someone in the bedroom, a woman's voice. Low, husky. I would wrap a towel around myself and rush out. "Who is here?" I'd demand. Stefan would be sitting on the bed, reading a book, looking at me with those sad puppy dog eyes. "Veronica, honey, there's no one here. It's just us. Are you hearing the voices again?" Again. He started using that word a lot. Again. "You forgot to turn off the stove again, Veronica. You were screaming in your sleep again, Veronica." He suggested I see a doctor, a specialist friend of his, Dr. Eris. Dr. Eris came to the house. He prescribed pills, little blue pills that made the world feel soft and fuzzy. He told me I was suffering from early onset dissociative amnesia brought on by stress. "Trust Stefan," Dr. Eris said, patting my hand. "He is your anchor." So I trusted him. I took the pills, and the fog got thicker. I started sleeping for 14 hours a day. I lost weight. My hair became brittle. I stopped going to the office. Stefan took over temporary power of attorney to manage the business while I recovered. But the breaking point, the moment the crack in the glass appeared, happened on a Tuesday in November. I woke up groggy. Stefan was out. I went downstairs to the kitchen to get water. Sitting at the kitchen island was a woman. Her back was to me. She had my hair, long, dark chestnut waves. She was wearing my favorite silk robe, the emerald green one I bought in Paris. She was drinking from my favorite mug. "Stefan?" I croaked out. The woman turned around. I screamed. It wasn't me, but it was me. She had my nose, my cheekbones, my eye shape, but her eyes were dead, cold. For a second, I thought I was looking in a mirror. Then she smiled, a cruel, unfamiliar smile. "Oh, Mrs. Vandermeer, you're awake. I scared you." Her voice, she was trying to sound like me, but the cadence was off. Stefan rushed into the room a second later. He grabbed me by the shoulders. "Veronica, calm down. This is Alina. She's the new nurse I hired to help you. Remember? We talked about this yesterday." She's wearing my robe," I stammered, pointing a shaking finger. Stefan looked at Elena, then back at me with infinite pity. "Honey, that's not your robe. That's her uniform. It's blue scrubs. See?" I looked again. The emerald robe was gone. Elena was wearing blue medical scrubs. I blinked. Had I hallucinated it? Was my brain that broken? Elena stood up and walked over. "It's okay, Stefan. The hallucinations are part of the side effects. Let's get her back to bed." They led me upstairs like a child. But as I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, a single sharp thought pierced through the drug-induced haze. I smelled her perfume. When Elena leaned over me, she smelled like Chanel No. 5. That was my signature scent. Nurses don't wear heavy perfume, and they certainly don't wear $300 perfume to work. I wasn't crazy. I was being erased. I made a decision that night. If I was going to die, I was going to die with my eyes open. I stopped taking the pills. It was harder than it sounds. Stefan watched me take them every night, so I learned a trick. I hid the pill under my tongue. I swallowed a gulp of water, smiled at him, and waited for him to turn off the light. As soon as he was asleep, I would spit the dissolving pill into a tissue and hide it inside my pillowcase. The withdrawal was brutal. The shakes, the sweats, the headaches. But after 3 days, the fog began to lift. Colors became brighter. My memory sharpened. I realized the misplaced keys were never misplaced. Stefan moved them. The forgotten stove was never on. He turned it on after I left the room. I started playing the game. I pretended to be worse. I drooled. I stared at walls for hours. I called Stefan Daddy once just to see his reaction. He smiled. He looked relieved. He thought I was gone. This gave me freedom, invisibility. They stopped whispering when I was in the room. They thought I was a vegetable. One afternoon, I was napping on the sofa in the library. Elena and Stefan walked in. "How long until the transition?" Elena asked. Her voice was no longer mimicking mine. It was sharp, Eastern European accent maybe. "Soon," Stefan said. "The gala is in 2 weeks. That's the deadline. You have to be ready." "I have the look down," Elena said. "The surgery healed perfectly. Dr. Eris is a genius. My nose is identical to hers now." Surgery? My blood ran cold. She hadn't just put on makeup. She had surgically altered her face to look like me. "It's not just the look," Stefan snapped. "It's the mannerisms, Elena. You still walk like a stripper. Veronica walks like a queen. Chin up, shoulders back. And the signature? You still loop the V too much. If the bonk notices, we're dead." "I'm practicing," Elena argued. "I spend 3 hours a day in the attic watching her old interview tapes. I know her better than she knows herself." The attic? We didn't use the attic. It was dusty storage. "Go practice," Elena commanded. "We need to sign the power of transfer at the gala. Once that's done, we can move Veronica to the facility in Switzerland. And by facility, I mean the bottom of a lake." "Don't be morbid, baby," Elena giggled. She kissed him. "Just think about the money." They left the room. I lay there, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would crack my ribs. This wasn't just gaslighting. This was a replacement. Stefan had found a woman, paid for plastic surgery to turn her into my doppelganger, and was driving me insane so he could commit me, or kill me, and have her take my place. She would be Veronica Vandermeer. She would inherit the company. She would live in my house. And I would be a forgotten memory. I waited an hour. Then I got up. I moved silently. My body was weak from months of sedation, but my rage gave me strength. I went to the attic door. It was locked, but I knew this house. I grew up here. I knew where the spare keys were hidden, inside the hollow leg of the grandfather clock in the hallway. It was still there. Stefan hadn't found it. I unlocked the attic door and crept up the stairs. What I found up there was a shrine to me. My old clothes, the ones that had gone missing, were on racks. My diaries from college were spread open on a table. Countless photos of me were taped to the walls, and a TV was playing a loop of my old business speeches. Elena was studying me. She was learning to be me. On the desk, I found a notebook. It was Elena's practice book. Page after page of her trying to forge my signature. Veronica Vandermeer. Veronica Vandermeer. Veronica Vandermeer. At the bottom of the page, she had written, "Kill date, December 12th, the gala." That was 10 days away. I needed help. But who? My phone was monitored. The landline was cut. The internet had a child lock on it. I was trapped in a fortress with 2 people who wanted me dead. Then I remembered the gardener. Old Mr. Henderson. He had worked for my father. He hated Stefan. He came on Thursdays. Today was Wednesday. I had to survive one more day. That night was the hardest performance of my life. Stefan cooked dinner. He put the blue pill in my mashed potatoes. I saw him do it. I ate around it. "You're quiet tonight, darling," he said, sipping my expensive wine. "The voices are loud," I whispered, staring at my fork. "What are they saying?" he asked, leaning in with a predatory grin. "They say, time is running out." He chuckled. "They're right. Time is running out for this sickness. You'll be at peace soon." Thursday morning, I watched from the window. Mr. Henderson's truck pulled up. Stefan was in the shower. Elena was in the attic training. I ran. I didn't bother with shoes. I ran out the back door, across the frosty lawn, into the rose garden. Mr. Henderson was pruning the bushes. "Miss Veronica?" he gasped when he saw me. I must have looked like a ghost, thin, pale, barefoot. "Mr. Henderson," I grabbed his rough hands. "I don't have time to explain. Stefan is trying to kill me. He has a woman in there who looks like me. They are going to replace me." He looked at me. He could have thought I was crazy. Everyone else did. But he looked into my eyes. "I knew that bastard was no good," he spat. "I saw the other woman in the window yesterday. I thought it was you, but she was smoking. You don't smoke." "I need a phone," I said, "a burner, something he can't track, and I need you to contact someone for me. Do you remember my father's old lawyer, Mr. Sterling?" "The shark? Yeah, I remember him." "Tell Sterling I'm sane. Tell him about the gala. Tell him I have a plan, but I need him to bring the police to the gala, not here. If they come here, Stefan will claim I'm crazy and talk his way out of it. I need to expose them publicly." Mr. Henderson gave me his old flip phone from his pocket. "Take it. I'll drive into town and call Sterling from a payphone. I won't use my line." I hugged him. "Thank you. Now hit me." "What?" "Hit me in the face, hard. I need a reason to be crying when I go back inside. I need to say I fell." He hesitated, then slapped me. It stung, but it grounded me. I ran back inside before Stefan got out of the shower. I hid the phone inside a hollowed-out book in the library. For the next week, I communicated with Sterling via text messages sent from the bathroom at 3 a.m. Sterling was horrified, but he was ready. He told me the plan. Stefan had scheduled a press announcement at the charity gala. He was going to announce that due to my tragic decline, I was stepping down as CEO and appointing him as successor, while Elena, the real Elena, would stand by his side and wave, looking medicated and compliant. Then the real me would be disposed of, and Elena would take over my life. "You need to switch places," Sterling texted. "What?" "If Elena is pretending to be you, you need to pretend to be Elena pretending to be you." It was risky, it was insane, but it was the only way. The day of the gala arrived, December 12th. The house was buzzing. Stylists arrived, people on Stefan's payroll. Elena was in the master bedroom getting ready. I was locked in the guest room. Stefan came in to see me. "We're going to the party, Veronica," he said softly. "But you're not well enough to go down to the ballroom. You're going to stay in the car. Then we'll take a nice long drive." The drive to the lake. "Okay, Stefan," I said, drooling slightly. He locked me in. But he forgot that I had been losing weight for months. I was skeletal. The guest room had a dumbwaiter, a small elevator for food that connected to the kitchen. It was tiny, but I was tiny now. I squeezed myself into the dumbwaiter shaft. I climbed down the ropes, tearing my hands, bruising my knees. I emerged in the pantry. I needed to get to Elena. She was in the master bedroom, finishing her makeup. She was wearing my diamond necklace, my gown. She looked exactly like me. It was terrifying. I waited in the closet. When she dismissed the stylist, I stepped out. I was holding a heavy brass candlestick. "Hello, me," I said. Elena spun around. Her eyes went wide. "How did you get out?" "I'm the mistress of this house," I said. "I know every tunnel." She lunged at me. She was stronger, healthier, but I had adrenaline, and I had hate. She grabbed my throat. "He's going to kill you anyway. I'm the upgrade. I'm younger. I'm better." I swung the candlestick. I didn't aim to kill. I aimed for the kneecap. Crack. She screamed and fell. I hit her again, on the head this time, just enough to knock her out. I looked at her unconscious body. I stripped her. I put on the gown, the diamonds. I fixed my hair to match hers. I applied the makeup to cover the bruise Mr. Henderson gave me. I dragged her body into the closet and locked it. I took a deep breath. I wasn't Veronica anymore. I was Veronica, pretending to be Elena, pretending to be Veronica. I walked downstairs. Stefan was waiting at the bottom of the stairs, checking his watch. He looked up. He smiled. "Wow," he said. "You look perfect, Elena. The surgery really paid off. You look exactly like her." He reached out and grabbed my waist. "Are you ready to be rich?" I forced myself to smile that cruel smile I had seen on Elena's face. "Let's go get our money, baby," I said, mimicking her slight accent. He didn't know. He walked me to the limo. He handed me a glass of champagne. "Did you give the real Veronica the overdose?" he asked casually. My heart stopped. "Yes," I lied. "She's sleeping. She won't wake up." "Good," Stefan said. "We'll dump the body after the gala." I sipped the champagne to hide my shaking hands. We were heading to the lion's den, and I was the lion tamer. The ballroom was packed. Chicago's elite. My business partners, my friends. We walked in. Cameras flashed. Stefan held my arm tightly. "Just wave," he whispered. "Don't speak. I'll do the talking." We walked up to the podium. Stefan took the microphone. He looked the part of the grieving, supportive husband. "Thank you all for coming," he began. His voice trembled with fake emotion. "As many of you know, my beloved wife Veronica has been struggling with a severe illness. It breaks my heart to say that she is no longer competent to run Vandermeer Publishing." He looked at me. "But she is here today to give her blessing, to sign over the control of the company to me, so that her legacy can live on while she rests." He motioned to the notary, who stepped forward with the documents. "Sign here, darling," Stefan whispered, handing me the pen. "Just like you practiced." I took the pen. The room was silent. I looked at the document. Transfer of all assets to Stefan Gentry. I looked at the crowd. I saw Sterling, my lawyer, standing near the back. Next to him were 4 police officers. I saw Mr. Henderson in his Sunday suit. I lowered the pen. I leaned into the microphone. "I don't think I will, Stefan." My voice rang out, clear, sharp. My real voice, not the medicated mumble, not Elena's accent. Stefan froze. "Elena, what are you doing? Sign it." "My name isn't Elena," I said, looking him dead in the eye, "and I'm not crazy." The crowd murmured. "Stefan hired a woman named Elena to replace me. He drugged me for 6 months. He paid for plastic surgery to make her look like me, and tonight he planned to murder me and have her take my place." Stefan lunged for the mic. "She's having an episode. She's hallucinating. Cut the sound." "I'm not hallucinating," I shouted. "The woman he hired is currently locked in my closet with a broken knee, and I have the recording." I pulled out the burner phone from my dress. I played the audio I had recorded in the limo. Stefan's voice boomed over the speakers. Did you give the real Veronica the overdose? We'll dump the body after the gala." The room gasped. It was a sound of pure horror. Stefan turned pale. He looked for an exit, but Sterling signaled the officers. "Stefan Gentry," the police chief said, stepping onto the stage, "you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, and fraud." Stefan tried to run. He pushed a waiter, knocking over a tray of champagne, but security tackled him before he reached the door. As they dragged him away, he screamed at me, "You were broken. I broke you." I stood at the podium. I smoothed my dress. "I'm a Vandermeer," I said into the mic. "We don't break, we get even." The aftermath was a media storm. They found Alina in the closet. She confessed to everything in exchange for a lighter sentence. She told them about Dr. Eris, who lost his license and went to prison. They found the training room in the attic. Stefan got life in prison without parole. I spent a year in therapy. Not the drug-induced kind, but real therapy. It took a long time to trust my own mind again, to trust that my keys were where I left them. I divorced Stefan. I took back my company. I fired every staff member he hired and brought back the old crew. I still live in the house. People ask me why. Isn't it haunted by memories, they ask? No. I turned the attic into a painting studio. I burned the shrine. I reclaimed my space. But sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I pause. I trace the line of my nose, my cheekbones, and I wonder about Alina, the woman who wanted to be me so badly she erased herself. She is in prison now, wearing a face that belongs to me, a living ghost. I learned a lesson that year. Your identity isn't your face, it isn't your name or your money, it's your fight. They tried to make me a replica, but they forgot one thing. There is nothing more dangerous than the original. Ladies, if your partner tells you you're crazy, if things go missing, if you feel like you're disappearing in your own life, wake up, stop taking the pills, and check the attic. This is Veronica Vandermeer signing off. Stay sharp, stay awake, and never let anyone write your story for you.